follow along with my stretching routine. Let's get into it. So all I'm doing is I'm sitting down, putting my butt on my heels, letting the weight of my body kind of push my ankles towards the ground, flatten out my shins and ankles. And if that feels okay, if I feel like I'm not stressing too hard there, I can move back a little bit. Just for a couple more seconds. Usually I do like a minute or 45 seconds. All right, next we're gonna do the opposite. So I'm just gonna pull my toes in and sit on the feet. And I'm stretching down here. Alright, now we're gonna move up, do the calves, just a downward dog. I'm gonna isolate and focus on one calf at a time. So I'm gonna bring my right heel down, left leg behind right leg. I'm gonna bring my hands a little closer just because I feel comfortable that way. And I'm gonna really aim to push my hips up and kind of get my chest towards the ground. If that makes sense. And then you should feel it really highlight the back of the calf. I guess the calf, not the back. What do you see? And the other side. So back up. Left heel comes down. Right leg goes back to support it. Again, I bring my hands back because I feel comfortable. A little closer, and then I try to raise my glutes up, and chest comes down. Be sure to mind your breathing, you know, very controlled. In and out. So, work on the calves a little bit, and keep moving up. Now we can do quads since we're already in this position. So I'm just gonna slide up to the top of my mat. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit back like the first stretch we did. But this time I'm gonna put my hands behind. And I'm just gonna push my hips up. And you should feel the quads engaged right now. You're just gonna hold this for a couple seconds. This is being more of a hold. Really try to push your hips up. And if you want to, another really good active one would be to do kind of movements like that, where you come back. You catch yourself. Some Nordics, I guess. Similar, but right now I'm kind of working at a stretch, an active stretch. Alright. I'm gonna move back again. So I'm just gonna bring one leg forward. Gonna lunge into that a little bit. And if this feels okay, I'm gonna lift up that back knee. I'm gonna hang on this a little bit, really let my groin open up. And I'm gonna draw my elbows if I'm okay with that. If I feel that my hips are flexible at the moment and I can hop into this without messing with my breathing or stressing too much, then I'm gonna go ahead and hop down here. But continue to let the hips sink. Alright, now we're gonna do a little bit of rotation, some trunk rotation. I'm just gonna bring an elbow down and up. And repeat. All right, next side. So I'll start it back at the beginning. I'm just gonna bring the foot up and just lunge into it. And you are the expert on yourself. So, you know, don't feel like you have to do a certain way. If you need a break, take a break. If you prefer variation, do that variation. And at some point you will feel that you want to go longer, or you want to do the other progression. So this just helps open up the hips a little bit. Alright, and then some trunk rotations. So the next one we're going to do is going to be for the hamstrings. So I'm just going to hop up and we're going to work them one at a time. I feel like typically the hamstrings, you have one that's weaker than the other or one that's tighter than the other. So whenever you work them out, stretching them unilaterally is great. So I'm going to pull my left leg out, try to flatten it out if I can. Use my hands or maybe a foam roller or something to kind of support you. But try to walk your hands out. And if you feel good here, try to drop your head towards the knee. Nice. Alright. So, same thing on the other side. Just gonna whip out the right leg, flatten that out. And I'm gonna walk my hands over to my leg. See, like, this one feels tighter in this position. The other one I definitely felt the stretch, but not as much as I do now. And once I feel comfortable, I'm gonna do the same thing I did earlier and try to close the distance between my head and my knee. And that will really light up that hamstring area for you. All right. I hate it, but it does me a lot of good, so. Okay, after that, we've done quads, we've done groin a little bit, we've done a little bit of hamstrings, we've done a little bit of calves. So we're gonna do some glutes. Glutes is super important, usually slept on, sat on, we don't really do much with them, so. For my glute stretch, just gonna hop down like this. And I'm gonna bring my left leg, knee, I'm gonna bend at the knee, bring my left ankle to my right knee. And I like to bring my right leg out a little bit. I feel like that helps stretch. And then I'm just gonna drop my right knee to the ground. And I should feel my left glute light up a little bit. So just relax there. Let the weight of your legs stretch out your glute. I like to lift my knee a little bit closer, so lift that higher. There we go. All right, I gave that one a little time because that's an awesome one. I love that. That's gonna help with a lot of pain in the back, lower back. Can't stress how important stretching the glutes are. So yeah, I'm gonna do the right side. I'm gonna bring my right ankle to my left knee. I'm gonna bring my left foot out a little bit just because it helps me personally. And I'm gonna drop that knee to the side. And now I'm feeling my right glute light up. You can make this stretch a little bit stronger by pulling that knee towards the chest. Awesome. All right, so that's a good one for the glutes. You can do a couple for the glutes, to be honest, because that's a really good stretch, or a really good area to stretch. I'm gonna do one more groin stretch just because that's where I'm feeling most tight at the moment. So for my next groin stretch, I'm just gonna do a frog stretch. Just gonna spread my knees out. I guess I'll scoot back a little bit. And then my legs are gonna come out parallel to my knees. Yep. I get down on my elbows, basically just doggy style. Whatever you wanna call it. I'm gonna push my hips. I'm gonna hinge them and try to push down towards my ankles. Whew, yeah, I'm so tight. I've been playing a lot of soccer, so And by a lot, I mean I played 2 hours one day last week. I'm just gonna kind of relax there and then rotate back into it. I'm a big fan of just playing around in a stretch, not like joking around, just like, you know, going through it too fast, but try to explore your range of motion, you know, safely. Deep breaths. Somewhere where you notice it feels tight or you want to avoid, try to actually sit in that. Not to the point where you feel pain, but if you feel that the stretch is doing its work, try to sit in that for a little bit. So glute stretch number 2, super basic, super similar to the first one. I'm just gonna put my right ankle on my left ankle on the right knee, sorry. And then I'm just gonna, again, drag out this right leg, but instead of dropping over, just stay here. And I'm just gonna pull my left knee towards my chest. And another thing, it's a little complicated to explain, but I'm pulling my knee towards my chest to stretch my glute. If I want to get an active stretch in the glute, I can push my knee towards, like using my hands I'm pulling, but using the power of my knee, using the power of my glutes. Bruh. I can try to force my knee against my hands. And that is PNF, or proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Feel free to look it up and educate yourselves on that. It's a really good stretching technique if you really want to make the most of your stretching. Alright, so I'm just going to switch sides. Now it's right ankle, left knee, left leg comes out. That's it. So anyways, for the shoulder stretch, I'm just going to flatten out on the floor. I'm going to reach my left hand out, and then I'm just going to use my right hand as if I'm doing a push-up. I'm just going to push half of my body up and over, right leg comes back, and I should get a light stretch in my left shoulder. If you want to make that stretch more aggressive, I recommend creating somewhat a right angle on the arm, and then doing the same thing. The good part about this stretch is it does so much work. It's such a good stretch. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna invert the arm. So before my hand's up here, now I'm just gonna do another 90 degree, but with the hand being at the bottom. Same stretch. Except this time I'm gonna try to open up my chest, maybe look upward. I'm telling you, if you guys do these two for shoulders, it's gonna release a lot of tension that we get built up in there. Shoulders is a really good area to make sure it's strong and flexible because it does a lot, rotates, and if you mess up your shoulder, you know, not only is the shoulder, it's your hand, your bicep, all of it starts to kind of, it gets taken into that, so be sure to take care of yourself. Alright, so I'm gonna do the same thing on the right side. I'm just gonna bring my arm out. And this is another area where PNF helps. So if you try to push your palm, the stretching hand, try to push your palm to the ground, you're getting an active stretch in the shoulder. Alright, and I'm gonna invert that. Alright, and that's good. Whew. Alright, so honestly, from start to finish, that's kind of a pretty basic full body routine that I might hit every now and then. It really helps me relax after like a really long run or just a week of just pushing it in the gym. I will do a couple of neck stretches at the end, but you know, I'm not trying to make this already long video much longer, but I'll just explain it in case anyone's interested. I like to put one hand kind of near my butt just to make sure that I'm getting the full activation here, and then overhead. I'm just gonna let the weight of my hand get a nice stretch on this side of the neck, and I can rotate my head And so then I'll just do that on both sides. And I'll typically do it longer than that, but I got some things I need to do, so that's it.